In 1974, we were contacted by Tomorrow Entertainment, the producer, was doing a film based on a dairy farmer family and the troubles that they were going through, and wanted to do the filming in Wisconsin for a GE theater presentation in Thanksgiving week of that year. So they came to Shawano, and we spent some time showing them around, giving them some ideas on some sites for filming.
So they came out to the farm, and basically they interviewed my dad and I and my mother. We were all farming together at the time, and they just, wanted to know a day what went on a farm during the day. Probably a couple weeks later, we got a phone call from Jim Caston and said, they're coming to Shawano, and they're coming to your place. And when they got there, they pulled in with about 40 people, electricians, and they started putting lights up in the barn, and they brought all their production people. It was amazing.
Basically, the story was the mother was identified with having cancer. The father and son were having difficulties because the son wanted to expand the operation, the father didn't. Patricia Neal was the lead, with Ed Flanders playing the part of her husband in the movie. Mark Singer, Meg Foster were two of the leads. Charlie Haid was another one of the leads in the film. They were in Shawano for probably 6 to 8 weeks. There certainly was a lot of buzz when you have people of that stature in the film industry.
Green Bay.
What?
I had to go all the way to Green Bay. He had to go to a meeting there at the hospital this afternoon.
You talked to him then?
Yeah.
When you're doing something like this in a small town, everybody gets starstruck a little bit. And so when we had casting calls for scenes that required a number of people, we didn't have any trouble getting people to participate. There was a softball game involved that a lot of people participated. We had a big banquet when the Gerlachs got their Dairy Farm Family of the Year award, filled the hall, no problem. The director, Goldstone, had convinced me to take the role as the MC, which was a speaking part in the production.
Now, folks, let me tell you, we've got a real treat in store for you here this evening. We've got a group here tonight. Well, let me tell you something. If Ed Sullivan were still on the TV, this group would be right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our very own, the Harmonics.
I had the opportunity to bust Pat Neal on the cheek, and congratulations, the award, which of course I heard about for a while from friends.
They wanted to film the cows being milked in the morning, and I told the director, I says, yeah, that's fine, but I says, our cows are on a schedule. And I said, if you want to film us, the cows coming in the morning, I said, you guys are going to have to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. And they were. Once the cows got used to it, it was no big deal. It was just the first couple days they were a little jumpy, but after that they didn't care. All the people walking around, lights turned on, and everything like that. They didn't care. I don't think there's a whole lot of people around that could say that they got a movie that was made on their farm. And I still have people that ask me about it today. Even though it's 45 years later, they just think it's the neatest thing.
I don't want to go. I don't really want to go anywhere. I'd just like to stay here a while longer. Would you mind very much if that's what we did?